Kavan Scott and George Giante pit Jedi against Jedi, as Avar Kriss will stop at nothing to ensure the Nihil are wiped out from the galaxy, causing the Council to begin to question whether the woman can do her job as the Marshal of the Starlight Beacon. Kavan Scott continues the Jedi's End storyline by focusing on Avar Kriss this issue and her unwavering need to stop Lorna Dee and the Nihil from spreading throughout the galaxy. It's been really satisfying, having read almost everything in the Phase 1 of the High Republic, to see the consequences pop up here as well as elsewhere. The big one being that Avar becomes really exhausted with everything she has had to do as Marshal of the Starlight Beacon. Events we've seen in the novels and other places, and now we see it here and how it's affecting her ability to be a clear-headed leader for the Jedi of the Beacon. It's great seeing the Jedi so open about their feelings as well, and how they aren't being ordered to stifle them, or when they are, they don't really, and it's one of the many things I've enjoyed about the High Republic era and how it sets itself apart from, say, the prequel era Jedi. Skier and Keeve's relationship as both friends, partners, and former Master Apprentice is fantastic and builds off this idea of the Jedi of this era being a bit more emotive and allowing their feelings to show up in places, so I've really enjoyed their sort of kinship they have been building through all of these books and novels. George Giante focuses on the characters again this issue, giving us some highly emotive faces as the characters verbally spar with one another. I love the visualization of Avar's strain and exhaustion at the beginning of the issue when she was going after Lorna, and it really helps sell the desperation the woman has in trying to stop this villain. Star Wars The High Republic issue 12 continued Scott and Giante's character-focused final story arc, diving into the immense weight bearing down on these characters and setting up a final confrontation not to be missed. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10. Star Wars The High Republic issue 12 heads to the recent past, where Keeve notices how exhausted Avar Kriss is, which is unsurprising given everything she has gone through with moving the Starlight Station to the Iram system to begin helping with the relief effort there. Keeve should have known towing the station to Dalinar was only the beginning, and now the Council and the Republic are intent on sending them to every natural disaster on the frontier. She understands the practicality behind moving the entire station from one disaster to another, since that's why it exists in the first place, but it seemed a lot easier a few weeks ago before Zeiss and their run-in with Lorna Dee. In the present, Avar holds Dee's escaping ship with the Force, struggling to keep a hold of it until, thanks to exhaustion, her power over the ship fades and it escapes. Avar is upset with herself, knowing that she could have been enough to stop this. Keeve feels her pain and anguish, wishing that she could have done more. As the Jedi return to their disaster-averting duties, Avar gets sick of listening about water purification systems, knowing Maru's efforts of coordinating the relief effort have been exemplary, and wants to know if the Traxia's patch drive has been attached and is safe to use. Geos asks about the drive and if it's the same one salvaged from the Nihil ship destroyed in the Battle of Gallo. Avar confirms it is, and it contains the location of the main Nihil base, so their assault can proceed as planned. Geos knows they can't do this, and the Council recommends caution. Avar tells him that they are running out of time and they have a weapon that can turn their people to dust, and Lorna Dee is the key to the weapon. She shows them a hologram of the area in no space called the Great Hall, a giant platform protected by shields that has recently been fortified for attack. Geos knows that it's because of that they need to be cautious, but Avar reminds him that since the Jedi were attacked, they need to be open in their response, and their failure to capture Dee recently proved that their servants of the light shouldn't lurk in the shadows, and they must be better than their enemies and shine brightly. She leaves to prepare the cruiser, as Keeve knows that their failure on Axis is her fault, and she should have acted instead of hiding like a coward. She goes to visit the now stony-skinned Terek and Seret, telling the comatose beings that she wishes they could talk, wanting to make sense of what they all saw and what happened to them. She tells them that she should have been stronger for them, and that this is all such a mess. Master Maru comes by, asking if the Bond twins' condition is better, but nothing has changed. He knows that they are lost, and they aren't the only ones, as Maru wants Keeve to watch over Avar, since he fears that she is letting emotions govern her path, and she isn't listening to any of them, or even the Force. Kiev is flattered to be entrusted with this mission but thinks the role should go to Skier, especially after what happened to her. Maru knows that that's not possible and they both know why. Before on Oaxis, Avar calls the Atraxia to track Lorna's ship as Skier knows that they need to get back to the Starlight and tend to Kiev and the twins' injuries. Avar refuses, knowing that he doesn't get to advise her anymore, having given him instructions to only engage in defensive maneuvers, but instead he acted like a rancor that sensed blood, killing all in his path and making his actions not worthy of a Jedi. Skier knows that she is right, wanting to explain, but Avar doesn't want to hear it, thinking that she failed him and she was wrong to allow things to continue with him the way he is. Because of this failure, she asks him to hand over his lightsaber, so Skier does so, as he is relieved of all his duties as a Jedi. Kiev tries to convince him not to do this, but her former master tells her to get some rest since this isn't her fight. Kiev falls over from exhaustion as she tries to tell Avar that they need Skier and she needs him. Later on, Skier's meditation is interrupted by Kiev, but he doesn't want to talk to her, wanting her to leave his chambers. She refuses, knowing that she needs to talk, not to the person hiding in this room meditating, but her master. Skier knows that he's a master who must do nothing before the council makes its judgment, since Avar was right and he should have shared what is happening to him instead of hiding it, having failed them all. Kiev wants to know what is wrong and why he can't trust her, and the Trandoshan says that he never trusted anyone more than her, but it's himself he can't trust since he has Magrak syndrome, something that afflicts Trandoshans and it makes the brain given to its base urges like aggression and rage. He says that his mind has been subconsciously dealing with it, but it requires immense effort, and it's left him unable to connect to the Force. Kiev asks if there is a cure, but Skier tells her that Dr. Janol has told him that there are some possibilities, but there is a chance that he will never wield the Force again, and for the safety of everyone, he needs to focus on maintaining balance, but until then, he is a danger. Kiev refuses to give up on him, and neither should he, telling Skier that they strive and succeed. She reveals that Master Maru wants her to keep an eye on Avar despite how everything she has touched in the last few months has turned to bantha crap, and she needs Skier to be with her on this. Skier tells his former apprentice that she has to go alone since she is a Jedi. Kiev is aware that she is, and she thought that he was as well, but she guesses she was wrong. Down in the hangar, the Atraxia is ready for launch, with the Nihil drive patched in and ready to be used to deliver them right to Lorna D. Kiev joins Avar, who understands if she wants to sit this one out after what happened to her, but Kiev knows that she wants to see this through for Seret and Terek. Skier joins them, knowing that he does as well, and he knows that Avar will try and stop him, but he tells her that until the council decide his fate, he is a Jedi and he must serve. Kiev vouches for him, and if he steps out of line, she'll knock him on his ass. Skier agrees with her, so Avar lets him stay, blasting off from Starlight with no going back and no idea what the future holds as they head into hyperspace.